Up to this point, I've always wanted to do, some sort of videos to content. Just didn't know where to start. I also had to build up my audience. That was one of my biggest things, was building up my audience, trying to get people that would support. And that's why I created Hustle TED Talks, is because there's a lot of people that do a lot of things and they, one, don't get it out there. Two, they don't get a lot of love. But I thought about it the other way. What if I show people a lot of love? What if I create something that gets people's stuff out there in mind together, you know what I mean? Forms it into something really well. And that's what's really gotten me up to this point, up to Hustle TED Talks. I got a strong dog community behind me. I got a lot of people that do music that are interested in trying to do some interviews because I want to know how they started from the same point I did. So up to get to this point, I had to do a lot of work, putting stuff out there like my brand, Gorilla Bone Bullies. That was one of them for me to catch audience and fans, doing different events, trying to get my name out there, just who I am in general. Trying to be around people like me, that are hustlers, that stand for something that is different, creating something, from nothing. Because nobody believes in you, you don't have that audience, you don't know if it's going to fail, you don't know if you're going to make it, and when you do, it's something beautiful, or you halfway create something, a year later, you look back and you made something, some progress, started from 0, now you're up to 5. One of my biggest things was, it was a lot of who I used to be, the person I was back then. I had no motivation. A lot of people back then that know me know that I was just a troubled kid. That was one of my biggest things. I didn't finish high school, didn't know what I wanted with life. I really didn't know where I wanted to go. I never had really, RIP my brother. He was one of my biggest mentors, and he passed away, but he showed me how to hustle, how to do something from nothing. My parents always been there. That was one of my biggest obstacles, making sure that my family was proud of me, because I wasn't a good person to them, I struggled a lot, but that was one of my biggest things. Second of all was just, I didn't know how to keep a job. I didn't know how to save money. I didn't know how to put my money in places that's gonna grow my brand. I didn't even know how to grow a brand. I didn't know how to start a brand. I didn't know who could make my logo. I didn't know none of that. Slowly but surely, you adapt to that and you find people, you look for people. That was one of my biggest couple struggles, honestly, to get up to this point, was just who I was, showing people that I'm not that person anymore, that I have a lot more ambition, motivation, willing to do things, because to do something, it takes a lot of planning, it takes a lot of networking, it takes a lot of time, and if you don't make time for those things, it's never going to happen. And that was one of my biggest things too, is planning something down, saying, hey, I'm going to get this done, I'm going to do it, and actually achieve it. That's one of the hardest obstacles I had, was actually making it happen and saying, green light, I'm there and I'm doing it, making it happen. Steps or advice that I could give to my audience, man, just work on yourself. That was my biggest things. I had to train my mind. I had to switch my mind from I can't to I will do. Physical stuff, I go to the gym. I don't always pump iron. I go on a run. I walk my dogs. For me, I think for a lot of people, it would be getting yourself right. And in that aspect, I mean getting your brain better, getting your social skills a lot better. A lot of people struggling with going out there and talking to people, being afraid that people might reject them. That's one thing. Never be scared of rejection, You're going to get rejected. People are going to tell you that they don't like your stuff or you can't do it. And at the end of the day, when you do it, they're going to be the ones watching. So that's just, some steps I can say. Also, just having hope, because up to this point, there's some times where I doubt myself, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people are like, I can't do this, or it's not moving forward. It's laying brick after brick after brick to know you're going to build up a strong foundation. Having that motivation and that self-awareness of like, hey man, I can do this. It might not happen overnight. For some people it does, but for a lot of others it doesn't. You got to put the work behind it, and that's when it becomes just natural to you. You just start doing and laying a brick here, and then a week from now you lay another brick. Man, I would just say, just keep a blind eye to it, Like, you're always going to have them people. They're going to discourage you. Man, I've had a lot of people discourage me, my friends, my family. I talk about something, I tell them I want to do something, and they kind of just give me the cold shoulder, and it hurts you, because for you to bring something up to people that you trust and tell them and that you love, people that you're close with, to show them an idea and be like, I'm actually going to go through with it, 9 times out of 10 they don't believe you. That's when you get the self-doubt, If you're taught you can do nothing, you won't do nothing, you know what I mean? But I've always had my family and my brothers and a lot of influential people in my life to show me that I can do it, So why can't Mac do it? Why can't this person behind the screen do it? We're worth a lot more, and that's the standard that I hold myself to, is knowing that I can do anything I want to do. Whether it takes a year, whether it takes 2 years, it doesn't matter, because I'm going to get it done. And when I get it done, 9 times out of 10, them haters are going to turn into your fans. They're going to be like, oh, he really did it, They're not going to think, all this hard work, all this making it happen, you know, getting together with people, putting the puzzles together, you know. A lot of people love you. I've always said it's crazy how, I actually made a post about this, it's crazy how you get so much love outside your city and you don't know it. You know, I've been outside my city and, you know, for instance, my dog breeding thing. I went outside my city and showed people my dogs and did meets with them, and they love me, man. They love my persona. They love me for who I am. They love me because I'm real. They love me because I'm not fake. If I don't like something, I'll say it straight up. I'm not going to disrespect you. It's with all respect, you know. People love you, man. If you show them who you really are and you're really a true person, blessed person that just wants to network and meet other people and you're just happy to be there, people are going to love you. But now if you're shady and, you know, you're saying one thing behind them, you're going over here saying something else, people aren't going to like that, you know. So I feel like you really got to be yourself. You can't be out here trying to be somebody, and that's something I've never tried to do, is be somebody that I wasn't. You know, I've always been myself. I always know I can create, maintain, and, you know, come up with some cool stuff. Everybody's got to start somewhere. Never be ashamed to where you start, because I've started some places and I've tried to, you know, bash on some people for starting somewhere, but you can't forget where you start. And that doesn't matter if you're working a 9 to 5, doesn't matter if you're selling chickens, whatever you're doing, you just have to push for more. There's a day that you catch a break and you have some extra money, and it's your choice to decide if you want to save that money or if you want to spend and splurge. But that's what separates the hustlers and the entrepreneurs from people that just want to stay stagnant. That's with no disrespect, it's just the truth. That's how you get out of that. I'm not saying I'm fully out of the rat race or whatever, but I'm trying to be, and I know one day I will be. And the day that I am, I'm going to be so thankful for all the hard work I put in, for all the time I saved my money, all the times that my friends were out splurging and I couldn't. I knew I had a bigger purpose. I knew that I was looking down the road, not just for the short term. You know, I got a kid, I got a family looking up to me, and I want to be the one to be able to say, man, I really did that, you know, after all this hard work and dedication and, you know, like I said, saving my money and playing my move smart, not just trying to jump to the end so fast and show everybody I got this now. No, that's not it. You know, I want to be able to look back and be like, dang, man, I was going through it right here. It might look like I was going through it, but I pushed through it and I got better. You know, I achieved what I wanted to achieve in that point in my life. So that's ultimately what it comes down to. It's always a challenge. It just depends on you if you want to go farther with that or you just want to stay the same. You know, there's no wrong answer. I respect anyone and everyone, but it's what separates everybody, you know? Man, my goals is just to expand more, get a bigger, not really fan base, but get more people that believe in me, have some more pups, you know, show my love out there for my dogs and my brand, everything that I represent, just to be a better me, you know. If this year I'm going, you know, 110%, I want to go 120 next year, whether it takes me that year, whether it takes me half that year. I just really want to get better in myself, because I feel like the more I take care of myself, your body's your temple, your brain is your temple, and if that stuff is running fluently, everything else is just going to come and attract, because you're moving so fluent with life. And that's really one of my biggest things, is to just get better every year with myself. Try new things, you know. Don't be scared to do it, because it is scary. If you try something and you love it and you keep doing it, it's not even gonna be work at that point. You know, you just love what you do. You continue to flow like water, like I said, and things just happen for you. It's crazy. I know I was talking about this. I know it's only been a year or two, almost 3, since I've decided to do everything, my dog brand, put everything together, the podcast. I feel like I got a pretty good start, you know, and as long as I just keep adding on to everything else, it's gonna come together, you know, just like everything else does. It might take a year, it might take 2, shit, it might take 5, but as long as you're consistent, that's all that matters, you know. It's not gonna happen overnight. You feel like you have to do it. I don't want to feel like I have to do anything, you know. That's one of my biggest things too, is I like to do enough of everything to a point to where it's not bothering me, it's not weighing me down, it's not making me feel like, dang, I have to be here, you know. That's not fun. I want to have fun with everything I do. I want to enjoy it, hey dude, and I want to create cool stuff. If I'm always stuck in a state of mind where I don't like this, I'm waking up and I'm saying, man, I got to do this again. That's not a good mindset. You got to wake up and be willing and be happy to do things. Be thankful you get to do things. Because a lot of people don't get to do this. A lot of people don't get 5 to 10 minutes in their day, maybe an hour, 2 to 3 hours to relax, enjoy, focus on something that could take their career farther. A lot of people don't. And the fact that I do and some other people do, it's amazing. I take full advantage of it. You know, I'm not complaining about it. I'm excited to do this work, you know. To juggle multiple things, man, it's hard. It is stressing. But, you know, there's been times where I put off a bunch of things and I don't want to do nothing and I get lazy and I feel like I'm in a stump. But in that moment, in that stump, it's up to you whether, like I said, you want to get over that stump or not, you know. And if you want to get over it, you see that right over the stump, it was nothing but a stump. You know what I mean? You climb over it, crawl over it, underneath it, whatever, and get her done, you know, because at the end of the day, you have to get it done. If you want to. If not, then you stay there. But I'm a go-getter. I love to get stuff done, you know.